The compilation that we did about the Filipino cultural traits and practices is a big reminder for us people or young ones that are part of today's generation that we need to preserve these traits and practices for our future generations. These practices were done or were transferred from generations to generations from our lolos and lolas, and even with their lolos and lolas and all our ninunos and ninunos. So as part of our culture, we must uphold that culture and we must preserve that and bring that to the next generation after us. The examples of traits and practices that we have in our video, such as the crab mentality, the Filipino time, or the respect for elders, the self-sacrifice Filipino, or the bahala na attitude Filipino, is just a few examples of the traits that we have as Filipinos. Now, these traits may be positive or negative in any way, but we must know that these traits have been a really big part into us being a Filipino, such as the respect for elders. That is a really important trait for me, because to respect our elders is like respecting our history also, because the elders have come to this world first before us and they have experienced more harsh things than us today, that almost everything were provided easily in just a snap of a finger. Another thing is that the crab mentality and the Filipino time, that I guess we must stop in a way, that we must discipline ourselves also, that as Filipinos we must not do these things just for us to be also professional. We must be on our appointments on time always, and that we must also not follow the belief of crab mentality. The bahala na attitude may be negative or positive in many different ways. Like me, I have the previous week was really a hard week for me. Projects were overflowing, deadlines were really fast approaching, and that there is this competition I did last Saturday, that a day before the competition I have heard a news that my full costume, including my dance shoes, was lost. That was really a stressful thing for me, but I have thought to myself that bahala na, like anything has a solution, and that I must just push through, and that everything will be aligned into a good way after all. So after the competition, I have landed into second place, which is a good thing. I have just need to rush into my suki na dressmaker, Ate Lorna, to do me a new Cuban pants. I am just lucky enough to have her not busy during that time, so she have made me a new set of pants. Now, there are many other traits, such as the close family ties, the bayanihan, the cheerful attitude of the Filipinos, which always attracts the foreign guests, our colorful jeepneys, which is also very exciting to the eyes of our guests. Now, these traits as part of our culture must be preserved, and that Filipino culture will live forever, and that it will never be gone. It will be passed from generations to generations, and that we can still say that we are pure Filipinos.